Alright, and welcome back to Tales of Symphonia. We kind of crash landed last time. It's probably been about 3 weeks since I think we last recorded. And James unfortunately isn't with us because he is spending the weekend with his dad at the moment, so it'll just be John and I.
I think we managed to avoid destroying them completely.
Oh, we crash landed last time.
Oh yeah, we're in the different world.
Teth'ealla.
Jeez. How do you guys manage to actually live in Silverant?
Silverant's Hicks. Confirmed.
Magic, I assume. Perhaps the lightning that Volt produces?
Then all we have to do is have Sheena summon Volt, right? I haven't made a pact with Volt.
Oh, well then I guess we'll just have to leave these here.
Oh, and here I thought Magi technology was infallible.
Nope.
Hey, what's that?
That's the Tower of Salvation. Why is that here? This is Teth'ealla, right?
Wow, I wonder wonder how that goes. Like if it sticks out of the atmosphere.
Like it just appears out of nowhere, you mean?
Yeah, it must be like a massive flight hazard if there's no lights on it.
I don't think, I mean, they're not used to people flying, because, I mean, this is the smart continent, or, you know, smart world, whereas the other one is more stupid. Remember, because Shino's making fun of coal, you freaking simpletons. So, or can there be? But no, I was gonna say, we'll wait till this cutscene finishes, because a lot's happened in the world as well in that 2 weeks. Mainly Trump.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Because it's like, on one hand, we'll get to that after this cutscene.
Instruments used to sign the treaty can be found in the Palma Costa Academy.
So, either one side is fake, or maybe they're actually both real.
Lloyd, that's not possible.
Where's Lloyd, the smart one this time?
Kinda saying stuff. Anyway, let's get going.
It's true we aren't going to get anywhere by pondering about it here. Wow, it's our first adventure in Teth'ealla.
Wow, we were almost completely killed by a guy with long hair and could fly. Let's go.
There's 2 stripes on Genus's shoes, so I don't know. I'm gonna headcanon that he wears Adidas.
I thought Adidas was 3.
Yes, I guess he got it like knockoff brand.
Knockoff. So Adidas.
Like
yeah,
like dollar store brand Adidas.
Adidas. Yeah, it's like it's missing. It's missing. It's Adis, so it's missing a D.
In Persona 4, people had bags that had 2 stripes on them, and it was called Adios.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah. Speaking of Persona 4, we can talk about that as well, since that's happened in the last 2 weeks. That's come out. But no, let's talk about President Donald Trump, which I kind of agree with, kind of disagree with. Obviously, I don't agree that he should have done it out of nowhere, and I don't agree with the whole chemical warfare part. I don't
know, I just think it's odd that we would just now decide to get involved, because these kinds of things have already been happening before.
We should have been involved a long time ago, honestly.
Yeah, we let the wholesale slaughter of a ton of people happen, and we just kind of like,
Again, that's not the first time that's happened, but...
And we funded it and let it happen like we usually do.
That's partially true, too. I'm also wondering how much of it is the media. Because I know that there is peaceful Muslims, but Islam is not a peaceful religion. So I'm wondering how much of that is, you know, the media portraying, oh no, Muslims would never do this. It's the extremist ISIS. But it's like, if you actually read the Quran, it's like, no, that stuff's actually that stuff's actually in there.
It's like a complicated mix of it. You can't. I completely disagree with the 2 camps. The one camp saying, "Oh no, Islam is a religion of peace," which it's not. But at the same time, I don't think that
all Islam or all
every Muslim is on a jihad to destroy whatever.
Yeah.
Nor do I agree with the other camp that says that, oh well, any devout Muslim is clearly evil because such and such, and they follow this, and therefore they can never be trusted. They must all be killed, and there are people like that, unfortunately.
But yeah, I was gonna say, if honestly all Muslims couldn't be trusted, none of them would have converted to Catholicism or Christianity in general. They would have all, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think I know what you mean.
Yeah, because obviously for us, I mean, it's not just for us. It is the truth. It's just a hard truth to accept that Catholicism is the one true religion because it happens to have the fullness of God, whereas Christianity, other parts of Protestant Christianity have bits and pieces. It's just not a full part. God bless you.
That was partly why the visions at Medjugorje or whatever have been largely debunked, because apparently the apparition had said all religions are equal in the eyes of God, and that's a big no.
Right.
There would no way that would be said after 2,000 years of saying that
Right.
the Catholic Church is the one true faith.
See, I was gonna say,
almost
I
2,000
didn't
years.
know that from Medjugorje, but I mean, if that's what was said, then it's like.
Oh, there's so much stuff in it that makes you say what? Like,
Yeah.
one of the children asked whether or not his favorite football team was going to win, and they all laughed. But that wouldn't you wouldn't do that if you were in the presence of the true presence of the Blessed Mother.
Right. I mean, or
her feet are never shown either.
Or God, I mean, but yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, is it like that one thing over on our Catholicism? Hold on, I gotta find this now. It was like the many temptations of was it Saint Augustine? Hold on, I gotta find this now.
It's probably Padre Pio.
No, hold on. It was a cartoon. So.
Oh yeah, it's the many temptations of Saint Anthony, and Lord, it's like, Lord help me with this amateur hour.
Exactly, and it's once you said that we never saw her feet, it made me think of, how Satan was tempted with the naked woman.
Chicken feet are showing.
Chicken feet are showing. It's like, good job, you messed up.
Hey Siri, yep. You want some water and wine? Whoops. Oh, don't worry. Forget you saw that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like, as long as it can be so hard sometimes though to know what is the devil and what's true, and it can be so hard sometimes. It really can.
Well, that's how you can probably tell the difference, because Padre Pio was tempted with false images of the Blessed Virgin Mary appearing to him, and the way he knew that they were fake was because her feet weren't displayed. Because
the chicken feet would have been shown.
Well, no, not the chicken feet. It's just
something along those lines.
No, it's because the devil can't copy her feet because her feet are what crushes his skull. So he can copy everything else, but not her feet. That crushes skull. So that's why in every apparition, the Blessed Virgin Mary, that her feet are displayed.
That makes sense, actually. I did not know that, huh? I obviously you know more than me. I was a pretty bad cafeteria Catholic for a while. No, it's only been the last year.
I was too. I know bits and pieces.
You do, but I was gonna say you definitely would know more, because I think you actually went to Catholic school, didn't you?
Yeah, but that didn't have as much of a profound impact. It wasn't until like after high school when I looked stuff up. That's where I got most of my info.
Right, and I believe that, but I was gonna say, from me, your family at least did more. My mom, as much as God bless her and I love her, I'm not trying to bad speak about her. It's just go to church on Sunday, and that's about as much as it was.
Yeah, I got you. That's what it is mostly for people. Unfortunately,
I know,
it's an event you do on Sundays and then you go home.
Yeah, it's so unfortunate, because it's like people don't. And I know you've been talking about this, and I've been talking about a different book, because I've been talking about what happens at Mass, and you've been talking. I think what was the one that you were talking about?
Yeah, Scott Hahn.
Scott Hahn. Yeah, it's like
Lamb Supper.
And it like goes into detail. Like there was so much in that book that I'm going to need to read it a second time. I'm just going to read it again a second time later, because it's like,
yeah. You probably should have the Book of Revelations open next to you too, so you can read off, because there's so many connections that he makes.
Yeah, I was gonna say, not just, I mean, there's a lot in Revelations, but it's not just Revelations, but yeah.
Yeah, that's what he explains, that it's Revelations isn't just this book of, oh, well, these things are going to happen. It's a highly symbolic book that no one completely understands. Like, no one does. But you can obviously pick out a lot of parts that refer to the Mass in there.
Right, exactly, yeah. Yeah. So meanwhile, we've been going on. Colette can't talk. Talking about the Chosen Amanda now. So, that's actually a pretty good talk. I was going to say, we were talking about Trump, and that led into a pretty decent talk about Catholicism, and, how we don't want to be mean about Islam. It's just, it's better to tell the truth in that, as opposed to what people have been doing.
Yeah, it's not good to I don't know, it's not good to kind of beat around the bush on it. That's sort of why no one says, "Oh, well, you're an atheist, alright, that's okay." No, it's not. We're not going to attack you for it, but it's
Right,
not.
exactly. It's like, we're not going to attack you for it unless you're, you know, one of those that atheists that. See,
New
as much as I
atheists.
hate to say it, unless you're like a Dawkins theist, because Dawkins atheists aren't. I obviously don't agree with atheism, period, but they think they know a lot about it, but it's also the easiest one to argue against, or not argue, discuss. Because it's like, I don't really want to have an argument. I wanted to have a discussion. So, I mean, you know.
Well, it's because it's so condescending. They'll think that they'll say, "Oh, I've already won the argument because I don't believe in a religion. And your religion is primitive, and you're stupid because you believe in something from a Bronze Age book, whatever, something or other. I win."
Yeah. It's like,
Or let me cherry pick a couple passages from the book of Leviticus and say, "See, this is why you're not a real Christian because you don't follow your book." But you're going to disregard the passages.
if you knew the New Testament, maybe there'd be something about that.
Or maybe you read the context, the one or two sentences, right? Like people like to cite the passage where God says, "Don't let your beard become long and unruly or whatever." And people say, "See, you can't have facial hair." I'm like, no. If you read the context of it, it's like a sentence or two later, you realize, hey, he's speaking to the Levite priests, not everybody.
Yeah. And it's like, you have to read the entire. I'm not saying this to be mean against any Protestants that are watching this, but you guys are pretty bad at it too sometimes. Oh, as I said, I don't mean anything mean against that, because I do love my Protestant brothers and sisters in Christ, but it can get frustrating on occasion.
Yeah, Lutheran satire does some pretty good.
Most of the time. Sometimes.
Yeah, most of the time.
Sometimes it's obvious that he is trying to push an agenda and doesn't understand what the Pope's talking about. Because it's like, I think he got Frank the hippie Pope from the whole "who am I to judge" thing, and it's like, no, stop, just
and that was out of
everything.
context too.
Grab everything, not just out of context. It's like,
that, along with virtually everything the Pope says, is taken out of context, depending on the media. If it's the ultra traditionalist camp, it's a completely negative thing. He's an ultra modernist. He's the Antichrist. He's this. He's that. If it's the, I guess, left or progressive camp, oh, see, it's a progressive Pope. He clearly supports these issues when he doesn't.
Right. He doesn't.
If people say, "Oh, well, see, he said, who am I to judge?" Clearly, he's in favor of gay marriage. Like, oh no, he never said that.
No, he never said that. Read everything he said, please. It's like, no.
I was about to say there was something similar that people misinterpreted it, but that happens like every week. I just can't remember what the most recent one was.
I think I know what you're talking about, but I'm blanking on it as well at the moment.
Yeah, there was something that he said, and then everyone jumped on it.
By the way, this is a... Can you figure out the plot that we're talking about? How Kratos felt a gentleness towards Lloyd? It's a plot point.
Actually, I think I don't want to spoil it in case I'm getting it, but I think I am.
Hold on, spoiler alert. Skip ahead to, we're at 13:45 at the moment. We'll say 14:30 to be safe. Go ahead.
I don't know, you could just put like a sound effect over when I say it. But,
that's true. No, I won't put it. But anyways, we'll skip to 14:30. So go ahead. What do you think it is?
Is Kratos Lloyd's father or something? Like
ding,
his
ding,
true...
ding! There you go. You got it. They're not being very subtle about it.
That's it. You said a fondness. I was like, he kind of looks like him too. I think it's fondly. Maybe because he's sort of like how.
They've been hinting at that for a while, and I've been talking about that, like how he was kind of, during the previous cutscenes, he was showing an admiration for Lloyd, like, he's my son. He's making good choices. That's really cool. Okay, now we better stop because it is 14:30, so don't want to keep it going past the spoiler mark. That spoiler mark's going to come up, by the way, in about another 30 episodes, because, I haven't even gotten to editing that yet. I did just record where that was officially revealed, that spoiler that we're not naming. It takes some time. But yeah. Right now,
That's
I think we're trying to go to Mel Tokyo, if I'm remembering correctly. So you're not a Wonder Chef. Got it.
Look at this guy isn't. I don't know. I say he's a special snowflake. I'm not a chef. I'm a cook.
Maybe. I was gonna say, there might be a reason for that. It might be because they think that the Wonder Chefs are all nuts. Because they are kind of weird. It'd be like, I guess kind of how like people would say, oh, you're Catholic? Are you SSPX? No, stop that.
Yeah.
We're not schismatic.
Oh yeah, that's. What's worse is when there's people like the old Catholics who must. It's terrible because they must confuse people who don't know what they're doing, and they imagine, oh, it's a Catholic church. I'm Catholic. I'll go there, but they don't realize it's not. They use the name.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, hold on. Lloyd confesses his feelings for Colette. Sorry. And then I think we've established at this point that Colette has lost her soul, right?
Yeah, so she's like an empty husk.
Yeah. So basically, Lloyd confessed his feelings. Doesn't matter. Soul lost. So yeah. Eventually we're going to get to some more plot. It's just... we have to get to the plot first. Also, I kind of went the entirely wrong way. I thought that I could come this way and then skip across. Nah, there's a cliff in the way. Which... I was also trying to do one other thing. I couldn't remember if I could visit an area that comes much later in the game earlier, just so I could get it out of the way. Because it's like, as I said, I think I leveled up to 40 at the moment, so most enemies until late game aren't going to give me too much of a, like, they'll give me enough of a problem because I don't have, obviously, the equipment for it, but I should be able to handle it. So it's like, I just figured I'd go take care of it, but that didn't happen, so. I'm gonna have to actually start editing episodes again. I've currently got like 20 episodes I haven't edited because I've been editing RPGs is my least favorite thing to do. Just because obviously, as you can see, I have to scrub through everything, make sure it looks good, get out all the enemy battles, make notes of which enemies we haven't seen. Oh, we haven't seen this enemy? All right, let's leave it in. It's not that I mind doing the work. It's just more work than I'm used to.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say. Persona 5 did come out as well, but I'm really trying to save that for Shovel Knight, honestly. Well, you know, there's nothing going on. All right, let's talk about Persona 5. So you've obviously gone farther than me. I actually know the plot though because I spoil everything for myself.
I probably won't say much about in terms of plot though, just in case someone is.
Yeah, I wasn't meaning that. I was more so meaning. And we talked about this last night. I've described it so far as. It's a video game that likes to listen to Linkin Park and wear Jinko jeans and listen to Nine Inch Nails. It's Cold Steel the Hedgehog's the game.
I think it's some, to a degree it's self-aware in that though, that it's not like it knows that it's acting like all the adults are evil, but at the same time I don't think it's taking itself too seriously in that regard. It's more like a backdrop to.
I think that may be true, but I think people are going to overlook it because a lot of people. Like, I've been looking into it, like, you know, I've been looking at articles so far, and it definitely seems like people are taking it that way so far, like, oh, this justifies my angst, this game gets me, and it's like, but the game is kind of saying that, but it's kind of not at the same time, so it's like...
I think it's like a half and half. It's doing it in a self-aware kind of way, but it also is trying to tell a message of, hey, there is some evil, and there is some corruption in the world, but you can fight it, like not by sitting there crossing your arms and complaining, but these guys try to do something about it, even if it's not realistic.
I think my main problem is just that they show everybody to be evil, and before we go into the city, because eventually cutscene's going to happen, I'm going to talk real quick. I can partially understand why, due to the fact that I know that in Japan, there was, I used to be in a Japanese class, and I'm sorry I'm talking 100 miles per minute, but we're going to a cutscene. Used to be in a Japanese class, there used to be a game show where there was a woman fake being raped, and they would have people, you know, they would videotape seeing if people would stop them, but the majority of the people wouldn't stop a woman being raped, so I think that's part of how we've talked about stuff in Japan before, and that obviously influences a Japanese game more than it would an American game, because I think that doesn't happen I don't think as many people in America wouldn't stop it, but I think in Japan it is a bigger problem. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
I know that was really fast, but I know I also had to get through that because we were getting to plot again, so... Alright. So Sheena's leaving us for a little bit. We need to heal Colette. I may not have needed to go that fast because I'm pretty sure we're going to get to no cutscene here in a second. But I just wanted to... Sorry.
No, that's fine. Yeah, I think, I don't know. It's another mixed baggage thing because you could say that 4 and 3 in the same way were kind of that, but at the same time, I don't think they were edgy for the sake of like, oh, let's appeal to that edgy demographic. Like it was justified.
I was gonna say, I think Persona 5 is catering to that edgy demographic. It feels like the Cold Steel the Hedgehog of Sonic. You know, like you got Sonic, which is like, all right, yeah. Then you got Shadow the Hedgehog. It's like, oh, my life is angst. And then you got Cold Steel the Hedgehog over here, and it's like, I like to listen to 9 Inch Nails and wear Jinko jeans and shit. So it's like, I don't think it's quite as bad as Cold Steel, but I mean, do you get what I'm saying?
I think I don't know. I think it's more.
You get that joke, by the way.
It's
right?
a mix.
You've seen Cold Steel. Okay.
Yeah, the OC. I think it's a mix between 3 and 4 in terms of, I guess, the happy. Because, like I told you, it goes. There's a moment where it's happy. You haven't come up to it yet, but it seems like joking. Everything's kind of typical, and then all of a sudden, bam! Like super dark. Like I was like, wow, we're only like 6 hours in, and we're gonna go there.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't even gotten as far as you have because
No, because you probably have no idea. Because you may even have an idea, but I'm probably gonna say it's wrong.
I technically have an idea because I've looked it up, but yeah. Oh, I guess we could talk about that too because I kind of forgot that happened. Have you seen the new Rick and Morty episode?
No, I haven't. I actually don't even watch Rick and Morty.
You don't? All right.
Everybody else around me does, though.
I'm a little disappointed with it. I'm not gonna lie. It wasn't a bad episode, and I'm not gonna go into spoilers, but the way that they were starting the first episode, or the first part of the episode, you wanted to be sympathetic towards Rick. Then it's just, what's one of those types of movies where it's like, nah, it was all a lie, and middle finger the entire time. This is what's actually going on. Wubba lubba dub dub.
Oh man.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, I'm actually starting to feel sympathetic towards Rick, and like, nah, it was all a lie. It's like, oh, I actually liked where it was going. I don't like where it turned. That might have been just because, I don't know. I think that Season 3 will be interesting just because if they'd actually planned this all along for Season 3, I can understand it. But it felt like they're kind of trying to just keep the show going with the same types of jokes. And the end of Season 2 felt like it was going to get into a more heartwarming type of series, but now it just feels like they pretty much, I am going to give one spoiler, they pretty much forced Morty's mom to get divorced from her husband just because Rick didn't like what Morty's dad did to him. So, I mean, it felt like it was going a good place, and now it just doesn't feel quite as good, I guess. Oh, by the way, now that she can't talk, we can't name the dogs at the moment.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it's just like, I get that it's just supposed to be a show and it's supposed to be funny, but...
Who the heck lets their kid walk around on a roof?
That's true, too. Apparently this mother. Nope, that's husband. Okay. So I'm not gonna lie, this music reminds me a little bit of Golden Sun, and I can't wait till we can record that. The main problem for that is I have to record Deus Ex first, and then I'm going to get back to recording RPGs, just because Deus Ex is a long game. I can't be doing 2 long games at the same time.
Human Revolution or the first one?
Human Revolution. James has requested that he wants to get the first one.
Yeah, I still have to play the first one.
You got time. Human Revolution's long. Boy, is it long. I'm also cheesing all the bosses as a heads up, just so everybody knows.
Are we gonna go like stealth route, like stealth everything?
Oh heck no! I'm doing. Oh, you don't know the really cheap way to just cheese all the bosses? All right, here's
No,
how.
I do the honorable thing and just invisible.
No. Here's how you do all the bosses. You go in with 50 stun guns. Zit, zit,
Just one after another until their spike gets done, I guess.
They eventually go down. It's the non-lethal way. So it's like, all right, game, it's the non-lethal way. I'm doing it. So it works for every single boss, which is mainly because they don't expect you to save them all, and it's like, nah, I'm gonna save them because it makes it.
From what I've heard, you can sneak past virtually all of them except for like two. Like two of them are like unavoidable.
Not in Human Revolution.
Oh really? I thought you could sneak past every one of them except for like a couple.
In the original Deus Ex, that's true. In Deus Ex Human Revolution, all the bosses technically die. That's why I at least try to take them out non-lethally, because cutscenes do kill them.
Oh, sort of like Metal Gear Solid, where you can do a no-kill run, but they still die because plot. Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas, as I said, with the original Deus Ex, no, you actually could get away with it.
Yeah, no-kill run on MGS was
Hard.
that had to go through. Yeah, it was hard because. Not because, I accidentally shot him, but because I think if you left enemies in some places, there's the chance they could die.
Yeah. Which, that's one of the things I didn't like about Dishonored, because if you...
Oh, yeah, because if you, like, a rat could kill them, or if they could drown in, like,
they could drown,
or
yeah,
something.
I didn't know that's, like, most games don't happen to be that realistic. Alright, I'll knock that guard out. He landed in a pile of water. Didn't think anything about it. Checked the screen later. One dead. How? Riddle me this. But yeah.
And the first mission's so buggy in how you can get detected.
Yeah.
The 2 was, that's another subject, I suppose, in like the last minute.
I haven't played 2, so...
Don't bother, I mean, I don't think it's 50% off right now anymore, but people said don't bother, right, even if it's half off anyway, because it's still unoptimized, like 6 months later.
Oh, okay, so like don't bother
I mean,
if it's PC,
it was
but
good. It was really good.
So
like, I liked it.
It's the PC port.
Yeah, basically. Okay. I mean, story and everything, I think it was really good, but it was badly unoptimized.
Yeah.
And it still is. They haven't fixed it.
Right, kind of like... I think Tales of Symphonia took a year to optimize, honestly.
Yeah, and that's a shame. That doesn't help Bethesda, because they also... they didn't let people do reviews of Dishonored 2 until it released.
Which that's not
or
the
they didn't
time.
ship review copies.
That's not the first time they did that, though.
No, that was the first. Their new policy for that started with Dishonored 2, and that should have been a sign because immediately when they got it.
True. Doom 2016. When did Doom come out? Because they didn't do it with Doom as well.
It must have been. I guess they must have started their new policy with
Dishonored 2. I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure that Doom, published by Bethesda, Doom is owned by Bethesda now, right? I'm pretty positive.
I think so.
Let me just check. That was me. Yeah, I was gonna say Doom. They didn't allow it out, and a lot of people were freaking out because, as you said, most of the time, if companies don't do that, it's typically a bad sign. Doom was the exception.
And it was. Yeah, Doom's an exception, but the thing was with Dishonored 2, if you pre-ordered it like I did, you got to play it a day early. Only the problem was, I think I already preloaded it. I hadn't even started it up yet. And I was just like, oh, look at the review page for fun. All I see is negative. Yeah. I'm like, oh, what's going on? And I look at it and I was, yeah, it's a good game if you can run it. And people were complaining the frame rate is dropping terribly. There's very bad visual bugs. Like, everything is wrong. He said it's a good game if you can actually manage to get past it.
Kind of like Arkham Knight, but...
Yeah, so I didn't touch it for like a week.
I know, we can talk about this more. We're on a rant now, so we're going to just pause that rant and we'll be back next episode. So, Christe Les Son, thank you very much for watching.